Bueno, supongo que no veremos más a Shogun Raiden nunca más en existencia, a menos de que hagan un evento chido.
Looks like we got kicked out. Oh, what do we do? Are we really just gonna leave Ei and the Shogun to keep on duking it out in there forever?
I mean, yo lo haría. No creo que los guionistas sean tan estúpidos como para dejar de que nosotros intervengamos.
She was making sense, and maybe this is the only way to change the Shogun's rules, but still.
Ella no tiene un cuerpo, ahora depende de la Shogun, pero esa no puede ser la única manera. Ella no tiene un cuerpo, ahora depende de la Shogun.
Right? Also, Ei can be pretty stubborn at times, and has a history of rushing into difficult situations. What if she gets too obsessed with winning, and she forgets why she's there in the first place? It could happen, and then she might never leave again.
Todavía queda una hora de misión, creo. Así que no creo que hemos terminado el trabajo.
Yeah, we should help her out, like we did last time. The quicker she gets through this, the better. Is there any way we can cut down how long she needs to spend in there? Or, you know, help her win the fight?
Vale, parece que los guionistas son más estúpidos de lo que pensé. Veamos. Tengo que pasar allí. No lo sé, lame DQ.
Well, whatever. We can't let anything bad happen to Ei while she's in there. Oh, but we also can't get in there anymore.
Ese es el problema.
Okay, well, first things first. We gotta find a way back in. Oh, come on, brain juice. Don't feel Paimon now. Okay, maybe if we both ram into it at the same time.
Hablemos con Yae Miko.
Oh, you're right. Paimon nearly forgot about her. Who knows if she really understands these consciousness realm plane thingies more than we do, but there's no one else we can turn to. All right, up the mountain we go.
Vale, vale. Pensé que teníamos que subir la montaña. Pero voy diciendo desde ya que Raiden se merece castigo. Ella todo el rato ha estado pensando que la eternidad iba a ser la solución a todos sus problemas, la solución de todo lo que es los problemas de Inazuma. Y el hecho de que ella se tiene que quedar eternamente peleando contra ella misma, con sus propios ideales, es literal el castigo perfecto que se merece. Por eso digo de que si por mí fuera yo dejaría la misión acá. O sea que Shogun Raiden se enfrenta a sus pecados. Como ya saben, cualquier izquierdista que haya votado a un presidente de izquierda y quiera irse del país que gobierna el presidente de izquierda, para que sepa que se ha cometido un error y que tiene que sufrir ese error. Aplica también para los de derecha que votaron por un presidente de derecha. Pensaron que iban a ser todo bien chido. Se llama Catarsis.
Someone's not in the best of moods. Let me guess. You're all tangled up in another situation and need me to unravel it for you.
Yo no estoy en problemas, tu amiga está en problemas.
I hope you realize how lucky you are. If it was anyone else, I don't think I'd have the patience to keep greeting them with a smile after the first few times.
But you're always smiling.
That was a figure of speech, do you understand? Nitpicking my turns of phrase. The sheer audacity.
Vayamos al grano.
Oh, yeah. Something really big's happened. It's Ei. She...
Supongo que ya lo sabes, ¿verdad, Jay?
Oh, okay, I see. So, Ei's decided to palm Inazuma off on the humans, while she goes off on her own to fight a fierce battle that doesn't even have an end date. Impossibly stubborn. Jumps straight to the most extreme course of action imaginable. Presumes her sheer will can see her through, despite a near impossible goal that requires nothing short of the very peak of her abilities. Yes, that sounds like Ei, all right. You know as well as I do that she's always been like this. Why start fretting about it now?
Se lanzó a ellos sin pensarlo.
Rushed into it without thinking. Well put. Oh, she acts like such a child sometimes. So you seem to be under the impression that I am able to offer some sort of help? Who gave you that idea?
Yo no quiero tu ayuda. Los guionistas son los que quieren tu ayuda.
Dumb. She's doing this on purpose, for sure.
Uh-huh. You're learning, little one. But really, the truth of the matter is that I don't know much more about Raiden Makoto's realm of consciousness than you do. All I know is that it's the foundation of the sacred Sakura, and from what I've heard, it's a little different from Ei's plane of euthymia.
Because Raiden Makoto is no longer alive?
Not just because of that. The nature of the space itself is different in some way, but I can only speculate. You're the ones who have actually been there, so you tell me.
Era
What was
totalmente
it
vacío, todo de color celeste. A diferencia del plano de Eutimia de Ei, el suyo era de color morado, con tonos grises, y habían unos columnas griegas a los costados. Yo sí me he fijado.
Anyway, we needn't worry about the details too much. It'll just be a little difficult to explain things later on, that's all. First things first, follow me to the entrance.
Tenemos que ingresar a la entrada del lugar misterioso. Ah, se refiere a justamente la cueva esa. Espero que no esté otra vez activada con esa barrera de mierda. No está la barrera. Ay, gracias a Dios, menos mal, esto será mucho más rápido entonces. Si acaba de sonar una sirena.
Now then,
Acabo
I
de
always have
romper
my
el sistema de
ways.
seguridad de
It's just a
esta
question of
vaina,
how
al parecer.
crafty I need to be. To the outsider, the realm of consciousness is a very abstract concept. Luckily, I'm Ei's familiar, so I can sense her rough whereabouts. In other words, even though I can't pinpoint the exact spatial location of this realm, I can still send you to where A is.
So, it's abstract, but has a location. But you don't know where it is, but you can still send us there. What?
Me agrada este juego.
Yes, no need to try and understand it. Let me put this simply. Right now, she is surrounded by chaos. Everything is turbulent and disordered. If you try to force your way in, you could be swept away by a giant wave that sets you down in an unknown corner of space-time.
Como un agujero de gusano.
This is precisely why when entering the plane of euthymia, it's much safer if you place your consciousness in a physical object first.
What? Alright, well, I might stand here then.
Ni se te ocurra que tú eres camarógrafa.
Suit yourself. Worst case scenario, all we stand to lose is A. So what's the big deal?
You... Please had it up to here with both of you!
Oh, well, if you're quite sure, then of course. Now, I shall send you on your way.
¿Se activa? En parte sí.
I say.
Sucede algo.
Oh, nothing. It just seems extraordinarily chaotic, that's all. My suspicions have been confirmed. By the way, remember to focus constantly on your heartfelt wishes when you enter inside.
Hacer la tesis. Entendido.
Only a strong enough will can prevent you from being swallowed by the giant waves of abstract space. Only if you are strong enough can I deliver you to the right destination.
Entendido. Por dos.
Well then, the door is open. Hop on in.
Entendido.
I'll stay
Por
outside and
tres.
provide what stability I can. I'll be ready to respond if anything happens.
Entendido. Por cuatro.
I'm placing my god in your capable hands.
Entendido por cinco. Ahora sí,
For my
larguémonos.
sake, and for Inazuma's, please. Bring her back.
Como si el guión dijera lo contrario.
Rico, you better know what you're doing.
Eso espero.
That's enough chatter. Get to work.
Vale, te estás enfrentando a una versión... Oh, me callo.
Remember to focus constantly on your heartfelt wishes when you enter inside. Only if you are strong enough can I deliver you to the right destination.
Siguen peleando, como se esperaba. We are back!
How can this be? You have returned. But how were you able to get back in? And how come you have not changed at all in all these years?
Esto es un cliché, ¿verdad? O sea, tipo se queda atrapado en un agujero de gusano, el resto viene a salvarlo, pero solo han pasado 5 segundos, ¿verdad?
This is a duel to remember. It is as if we have returned to the moment when the laws of eternity were first established. Your will today is as strong as it was back then.
O tal vez estamos en un punto del tiempo en el que pasó un chingo de tiempo y la Shogun Reign que nosotros conocimos todavía está peleando.
Over countless battles, not once have you lost, and never have you shown the slightest hesitation. Had I made all enemies of eternity stand against you, you still would not have wavered. For your firm commitment to enforcing the rules, you have my admiration too. You bring honor to the title of Guardian of Eternity. Now these two return once more to this space. An inevitability of fate, perhaps. Then, let this be our final duel. The conclusion to that which began 500 years ago. Final duel? So you're finally willing to stand back, traveler.
Ahora sí va a acabar toda la misión, ¿verdad?
I'm going to be the start of something new.
Chido. Agrada esa forma de pensar.
The time our duels took to fight was long enough to witness the rise and fall of nations.
Vale, ahora ahí está la versión sin Megamin Tensei que estaba diciendo en antes.
And turn day into night. And the will they demand.
Al menos es débil, 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 por lo menos por un tiempo, por lo menos tiempo.
Yet, you have endured. I will endure
Vale, lo
forever.
ST me lo descargo el celular apenas tenga tiempo. Con cuidado que no quiero gastar tanto recurso, por favor.
Witness the final
Usa elemento
calamity.
elemental electro para atacar a esta guayana. Ah, ya. Cuidado con la espada.
Shine down.
A ver si derrotamos a esta weona sacada del persona. Con cuidado.
Is in my hands.
Vale, ni siquiera he ido al lugar correcto.
Illusion shattered.
Escapo mejor, escapo mejor. Vale, vale, ya entendí cómo es la vaina, ya entendí cómo es la vaina, ya entendí cómo es la vaina.
There is no escape.
No hay escape para ti, perra, no hay escape para ti. Tampoco lo hay para mí. Menos mal que tenía este killing guardado. Cuidado. Que se quede ahí, que se quede ahí.
Illusion shattered.
Daño supremo y ya está. Muerta.
This is the end. You have won.
1, 2, 3. Ding ding ding. Here's your winner. Ei Raiden.
I believed you were incapable of transcending the past. But it seems my belief was baseless, and I underestimated your spirit. But a will that cannot be eroded has no way to embrace the future. You need not worry about the future. And you aren't alone. I know your power more than anyone else. Had I relied upon my strength alone, I would have lost this duel for sure. Yet, my reason for fighting redefined my martial prowess and redrew my limits. I now carry the gaze of the myriad of expectant eyes that look to the light in the heavens.
Ahora llevo conmigo la mirada de incontables ojos esperantes que buscan las luces en el cielo. Vaya manera de romper la cuarta pared.
And whenever I think of this, I feel something stirring within Musou Ishin. The blade that I inherited from Makoto seems to be trying to guide me. I noticed it also. Just now in the heat of battle, it seemed to unleash a new and unfamiliar power. This power is beyond the limits of my understanding. This blade belonged to Makoto.
Una antigua Shogun.
Perhaps it can only respond to me with its full power when I truly understand and believe in her. When I clasped Muso Ishin in my hands, I had the feeling that she was by my side once again. It was at once a familiar feeling and a strange one. Makoto barely wielded a blade in her life, and yet her blade brings me closer to her. You have my approval. Your present will is not the product of erosion. I shall no longer stop you from attempting to modify the rules. From this day forth, this body will remain your assistant. I won't design any more rules that can never be changed. You used to represent my past, but from today onward, you are me. Makoto never saw me as a fearless weapon. Likewise, I should not regard you as a mere tool. You truly have changed. I suppose this is what humans call growth. I understand. I shall become your shadow, just as you were once Makoto's shadow. The duties I perform will not change. But as a warrior, I look forward to the chance to fight like this again in the future.
Oh, créeme, lo vas a tener.
Do you say this because you have not yet reconciled yourself with your defeat? It was simply a new experience for me. One that is worth reliving.
Have you finished fighting then? Like, for real this time?
¿Que no escuchaste el sonido de la campana? Obviamente que sí han dejado de luchar. La espada está brillando.
Hello, Ei. And greetings, those who have come to bear witness. I am Raiden Makoto, the previous Electro Archon, who failed in my duties and left you all to pick up the pieces.
Al igual que cierto avatar... Digo, ¿qué?
Makoto?
I'm so happy. You've come so far. I always knew you would make it here in the end. I left a faint fragment of my will in Muso Ishin, so that in the moment that you unleashed its full power, I too would be released. A convoluted way to reach you, but... well, you held such deeply entrenched views at the time that you wouldn't have listened to a word I said. There was no time to wait for you to have a change of heart. Please forgive me. All I could do was find some way to wait until you came to me.
But... you never mentioned this to me.
Everything happened so suddenly. I'm sorry. I've always felt terrible for having to entrust Inazuma to you all of a sudden. I should have been the one to impart these ideas to you, a little at a time, to dissuade you from your pursuit of stillness.
Did you know what was about to happen in Conria?
Y se sacrificó de todas maneras.
I had some sense of it. That place was not somewhere that any Archon could afford to ignore.
Claro, porque ellos también estaban avanzando bastante y obviamente ustedes creyeron que iba a atentar contra sus propias existencias, cosa que nunca fue así, por lo menos lo que tengo entendido, de lo poco se ha filtrado.
In my present form, I can no longer perceive time. I don't know how long we have been separated before this reunion, and I don't know what Inazuma has experienced in the meantime.
Todo está tranquilo, aunque por lo menos 500 años Inazuma ha estado de la verga, ya literalmente era Cuba.
But I know that this must have been an extremely arduous journey for you. And I'm sure you must have wanted to shed tears many times along the way.
¿Quién no?
Don't look down on me.
See? You admit it. It was with this possibility in mind that I left a parting gift for you. Something to soothe Inazuma's pain.
Here, take it. Before my last shred of consciousness fades away. But it is you who must take the most important step.
Seguir adelante, a pesar de las dificultades y la gente que ya no está. Por ellos.
The light turned into a seed?
The miracle tree that blesses the people, in this moment new to the world and yet to be known. When to plant it, where it shall bloom. She who brings it into being must let her heart and dreams decide. Grant it life, eh? Is it really? Eternity extends time into infinity. Dreams illuminate each moment within. When both shine in unison, the sacred Sakura blooms from the darkness, finally free from the clutches of the heavenly principles. Now the nightmare has dissipated, and reality is made whole. The vision we both yearn for is still further ahead. My only regret is that I cannot witness Inazuma's future, nor can I walk this journey with you. Do you know, Ei? I am so happy right now, because my final wish has now come true. Your polearm once protected me from countless calamities. For this, I've always felt indebted to you. Though I could never repay you in full, this sacred Sakura will buy you some time until you are ready to awaken and embrace the new. What do you think? Did it do the trick? This time, it really is goodbye, eh?
Debes continuar el viaje sin ella. Tenía que decirlo.
Goodbye, Makoto.
Dios, cómo me encantan esas escenas cinematográficas. De verdad se nota que este es un juego hecho para PlayStation. Filosofía PlayStation.
The Ei of the present planted the sacred Sakura in the realm of consciousness, and it took root in the Inazuma of the past.
Como una suerte de conexión. Como yo dije antes, aferrarse al pasado es algo malo, pero rechazarlo es algo mucho peor.
No matter what you make of it, it's quite incredible.
All of this is thanks to Makoto's power. Her understanding of eternity is much more profound than mine. Eternity is a concept intimately connected with time. When you begin to touch on eternity, the concept of time becomes murky.
Confuso e inexistente. Alguien podría hacer una película de eso. Por favor, no lo hagan. El tiempo avanzaba, retrocedía al mismo tiempo.
A place where time is meaningless and cannot be understood with ordinary logic. So that was the turbulence I was sensing.
Yo me acuerdo que en el Tokyo Revengers también hablan un poco del viaje en el tiempo. Será casi el mismo concepto. Ya me dieron ganas de leerme el manga, aunque sea.
Perhaps that is the reason why you were able to return precisely to this point in time without any problems. And yet, that sense of disorderliness has now completely disappeared.
I don't fully understand yet. But my intuition tells me that the reason for everything, it's that seed.
Que estaba a punto de decir que era una piedrita.
Well, I'm not convinced that it was Makoto's power alone.
Vale, se ha bugueado el audio. Tal vez realmente tuvo algún tipo de poder superior. Astaroth. ¿Qué chucha será Astaroth? No me voy a averiguar, descuiden. Dejaré que el juego siga su cauce.
Without the sacred Sakura, Inazuma would likely have been completely swallowed up centuries ago by that disaster and the filth.
I know you've always perceived there was something special about the sacred Sakura, but to me, it has always been there. You've tried in the past to prove to me that there's a connection between the sacred Sakura and Makoto's consciousness, But unfortunately, you never did persuade me, did you?
No. But I understand why now. It was because the sacred sakura hadn't even been planted then.
But don't you think that tree looked a lot different than how it does now?
The sacred sakura is within my purview at the shrine, so obviously I get to prune it exactly how I like it.
Sí, no has pensado en darle una limpieza porque está sangrando, sigue sangrando la huevara. Al menos, no sé, haz como mi abuela hacía, pon una regadera y haz que las gotas de agua vayan a lados aleatorios. Porque las pobres también necesitan bañarse. Sean plantas, pero no otakus.
I'm joking. That tree has been through a lot since it first sprouted. We have the loving care of Kitsune over the ages to thank for how it appears today. And obviously I played my part too. It's fair to say that very little time passed between the moment you came out of that realm and the moment you re-entered it. But in that same time, centuries of battling took place on the inside, did it not?
Correcto.
Traveler, if I'm guessing correctly, you were repeating your wishes to yourself in your mind, weren't you?
Eso importa.
At that time, I could sense Ei's whereabouts, but I also sensed anomalies in the flow of time within that space.
Claro, porque todo era aleatorio.
Suffice to say, time added a whole new dimension to our search. Simply establishing a location was
Tiempo,
not
cuarta
sufficient.
dimensión, como dictan muchas películas de ciencia ficción.
Fortunately, your will was strong enough that the turbulence carried you to the moment in time most likely to be the intersection of all that you were wishing for. The flow of turbulence may well have been influenced by Makoto, but it took everyone's efforts combined to ultimately help Ei. So this time, it looks like thanks are due to you.
Does that mean it wasn't by chance that we ended up at the final duel? We were always meant to be there to witness what was going to happen?
Destino predeterminado.
I thought that the flow of time was the same on the inside and the outside, so it was a great shock to me when the traveler reappeared. My first thought was, has a great disaster befallen Inazuma? But it turned out you had come to rescue me. You came for my sake, to help me reach the best possible outcome. You too have my thanks. You have done much for me, and I will never forget it.
Ei, how are you feeling now?
My body has fully recovered, and the Shogun's will no longer fights against me.
Bien.
Always thrilled to hear you're in good health. But I was really asking about your emotions. Have you managed to calm down? After all, you saw Makoto in there, didn't you?
I only heard her voice. I wouldn't say I saw her. I'll be fine. It brought a few things back, of course, but I've made my decision to move forward.
Lo que todo el mundo debería hacer.
I have to say, this has reminded me once again just how brilliant Makoto was. She predicted all the ways in which Inazuma's future could unfold, all the way back then. She even factored my immaturity into her plan. It's all thanks to her that Inazuma lived to see this day.
Esa sí es una estrategia.
I just planted a seed.
Tanto ha sido esfuerzo de ambos, incluso de los guionistas que han planteado justamente los personajes indicados en la escena indicada y le han dado el trato indicado. Todo recontra chiro. Se nota el empeño que le ponen a este juego, a pesar de las críticas. Este último paso fue fruto de un gran esfuerzo conjunto, no es algo individual. Son muchos factores los que han tenido que intervenir. La cosa de efectos se convirtieron, pero el papel fue importante.
Thank you.
Today, at long last, you and Inazuma finally emerge from the shadows cast by the events of centuries past. Makoto and you are Inazuma's past and future, and both are indispensable.
It's rare to hear such comforting words from you. I graciously accept them.
Oh, come on. You only think it's rare because you never used to listen to a word I say.
Makoto said the exact same thing.
Great minds think alike, hmm? I wonder, Does that qualify me to, maybe, take the position of Shogun for a couple of days?
Dios, cómo no me cae bien ese personaje.
Actually, no. Forget that. Far more trouble than it's worth.
Más para mí las molestias.
We will have to end the frivolities
Sí.
there. There is much work to be done.
Por
The
dos.
Shogun and I will closely review the Inazuma of today to find out where things currently stand. Then, we will give careful consideration to the future. After that, I will abolish the Sakoku decree.
Vale, eso justifica cómo vamos a terminar en la cima y cómo vamos a terminar en Sumeru.
Really? That's huge news!
I am no longer pursuing an eternity defined by stasis. In which case,
Y es
there
más,
is no
justifica
further need
también...
to keep the nation
Vale,
under
hice las
lock
cosas
and
en
key.
desorden. Era para hacerme primero estas misiones y luego hacer la misión de Dance Slave.
I don't doubt
Que no me dieron
that
un
many
orden.
challenges lie ahead for Inazuma.
Los desafíos también nacen nuevas oportunidades.
I'm looking forward to it.
Por dos, Raiden, por dos.
Hey, Traveler! Remember that pit at the bottom of the chasm? You know, the one that the giant pillar smashed into.
Acabó la misión.
Quick peek before we left last time. There was
Y
something
podemos hacerla de intermedio. ¿No? ¿Podemos hacerla de intermedio? Sí, se puede hacerla del intermedio, excelente. Eso era justamente lo que quería, jodete, Paimon.
So you've been wondering about that too, huh?
Sigue hablando de la conjura, sigue hablando de la conjura.
Let's go and take another look.
Bueno, esa ha sido la misión de lo que es la parte 2 de Shogun Raiden o Ei Raiden, Imperatriz Umbrosa, parte 2. ¿Qué pienso de eso? Bueno, primero que nada... ¿Dónde carajos estás? Información. Editor, deja bien en claro a quién le estoy aplaudiendo. Déjale bien en claro a quién estoy aplaudiendo. Trabajo excepcional de Anne Yatco. Es por esta clase de personas que yo soy tan fanático de los actores de voz, de la actuación de voz. Y por un tiempo, cuando era pequeño, 14 años, yo quería ser actor de voz en el pasado. Pero después dije, mano, no van a valorar esa carrera hasta que el Mario Castañeda se muera. Así que por eso abandoné ese sueño. Pero weón, de verdad, trabajo impecable de esa tipa, de esa señora, de esa señorita, como sea. Igual, ha sido clave para que la llamada sumergencia a lo... No, suspensión de la realidad, esa wea. Su trabajo fue impecable para que eso sea efectivo. Que es algo que uno busca en esta clase de medios, en esta clase de juegos y todo eso. Y sí, ya acabamos las misiones. Era para hacer la misión de Dance Slave antes, ahora que me doy cuenta. Pero bueno, la cosa es que ya estamos en la recta final. Solamente nos falta ir hasta la cima para así largarnos a Sumeru. Y como dije, misión de Raiden 9 de 10. 9 de 10. La 1 era un 7, un 8 de 10, a lo mucho. Y la segunda parte 9 de 10, porque aporta bastante a la historia. Mano, ¿por qué esto no lo han colocado acá? ¿Por qué esto no lo colocan en esta parte y tenían que ser desbloqueado por misiones legendarias? Pero bueno, la cosa es que solamente nos queda hacer esta misión y luego ya podremos irnos hacia Sumeru, que es justamente lo que quiero. Así que, nada más que decir. Si os ha gustado el video, pueden darle like, compartirlo conmigo, que sea fanático de Genshin Impact, que sea sim de Shogun Raiden, o que sea fanático de la actriz de voz que le da voz a Shogun Raiden. Y nada más que decir. Hasta aquí, Vampire. Nos vemos en el siguiente video.